Clemson and Texas in Austin. This one's also on TNT at 3 p.m. Central, God's time zone. DKR should be a fun atmosphere. Clemson, the ACC champion, gets their way in with a 12 seed. Texas, the SEC runner-up as the 5 seed. Texas is a double-digit favorite in this one over Dabo's Tigers. Break it down for us, JT.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see Clemson and Dabo get into this game. That ACC championship was a great game to watch, and I'm just glad to. I mean, some people may think differently, but I was glad to see Alabama not get in there, just to see a new face and spice things up a little bit. But I think Texas's defense is going to be a really big problem for Clemson in this matchup, and you can see it by the spread. As unconfident as I am in Texas's offense, I don't really think people have really come around to think of them as a defensive team yet. But right now they rank nationally first in opponents' yards per play, second in opponents' yards per game, and second in opponents' points per game. And I just don't really think this is a very good situation for Clemson's offense to have a lot of success. So I really think that's going to be the moral of the story here. It could look very similar to this Texas A&M game, where Texas doesn't need to be too flashy on offense and they can just control it with their defense.
All right, I like that breakdown. What do you think, Jake? Let's go to Jake. Let's make brother versus brother here. And if Jake's on the other side, I don't expect him to be. And I think everybody's going to be heavy on Texas.
I don't know. I don't know if I trust Texas's offense right now. How much Arch Manning are we going to see? Do we see any Arch Manning? You got to imagine you do, just because of the lack of explosive plays and success rate that you had against Georgia. And it just wasn't there. You're playing a backup quarterback and you had an opportunity to win that football game, and it didn't happen for you. But for Clemson too, and their 3 losses, I think they've shown some pretty glaring issues, like the explosive plays they give up versus Louisville, finishing drives, turnovers against South Carolina, and the physicality against Georgia was outmatched. And you've seen a team like Georgia, and Texas is just about as similar as Georgia can get, which really has me worried. But there's part of me that just thinks this Clemson defense kind of just bows up here and has not an all-time performance, but like punches Texas in the mouth a little bit, enough to at least give this Clemson offense a shot. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. I tend to think they won't, because the Texas defense has been just as good.
That's where I was going to go with it. Is the Texas defense has been stout all season, even against elite talent throughout the SEC schedule. But they haven't played that one big game, right? We talk about strength of schedule on this show all the time. Texas' strength of schedule doesn't jump off the page to you. Neither does Clemson's. They kind of ran up the score early in the season in some of those matchups after their opening game loss. But if you look at this Clemson offense, what do they do well? They convert on third down extremely well within the country realm. I mean, they're top 30 in the country when it comes to converting on third down. That's why I think it's so important in these games to get the home field advantage, whether or not you can play your music or all the other bullshit the committee's doing. This Texas defense is elite. So I like them, who are only letting up 30% of third down conversions against this Texas defense, which is ranked 6th in the country, to stop the Clemson offense enough to where I don't really care how many points Texas scores. I think 13 to 15 can be enough. I think Texas is going to have Clemson in shambles all day. I think the atmosphere is going to be the best it's ever been, similar to the Georgia style, but there's not enough Georgia talent on this Clemson offense to put up 30 points like that team did. So I like the Longhorns here. I just think their defense is too much for Klubnik to handle. And he's going to throw a couple picks too. What do you think, JP?
Yeah, I'll be pretty quick with mine. I have I can't tell you which one it is, but I have in the betting segment, I have this game as one of my bets here. There is a real opportunity for Clemson to stay in it if Ewers struggles and just makes a couple of poor decisions. But I think they're less likely to put him in positions where he has to worry. I'm not really thinking that Clemson showed that they can get beat by good talent on the outside last week. And there's not a lot of teams in the country that have it like Texas does on the outside and in the backfield. So I'm confident that Texas is going to get better on offense, and I'm not sure they're going to show everything and throw the world at it. I understand it's a playoff game and they'll do everything they can to win, but I don't think they're going to need to go deep into their bag for this one to really make sure they win it. Clemson has a chance to disrupt things defensively. I'm worried about Klubnik when his legs aren't, useful and he's staying contained within the pocket and he can't just run around and make plays and scramble for 30. what does that really do? Is Brian Wesco going to be able to get away from these Texas DBs? Are the Clemson receivers good enough to really bail him out? And I'm just not sure if they are at this moment in time.
All right, let's do it round table style. Who wins? Who covers? Who's the difference maker? JT, lead it off.
Yeah, I think Clemson this year, if you look at their stat profile, it's pretty unimpressive on both sides of the ball until you look at their turnover stats, which they've been an absolute monster this year. And as far as turnover percentage goes, as far as they don't really turn the ball over and they turn you over a lot. So if they can continue to have that success, I mean, that's the only way I can really see them getting into this game. But I don't really see Texas playing outside of themselves in a situation that'll get them into turnovers. I think this is going to be the best defense Clemson has seen all season. So I don't really see it getting that out of hand, but I do think Texas is going to end up winning probably around a score of 24-10.
All right. I like that. I kind of see them in a similar fashion. I think we talked about SMU in a preview beforehand, and we talked about the struggles they had early in that ACC title game and how much that benefited Clemson. If they don't get that out of their opponent, what does that Clemson offense do? They slowed down quite a bit when they weren't getting the ball on the 30-yard line. If you put them in that situation back on their own 20, all of a sudden you got to face this Texas defense, which is double, if not at least as good in every facet on that SMU defense. So I think the Clemson defense is going to be, our Clemson offense is going to be way too staggered to stay in this one. I like Texas to roll in this spot at home. I think it's going to be like a 27-10, 27 level game, and Texas covers the number. I think difference maker is going to be Quinn Ewers, a couple touchdown passes, or somebody on the defense who picks off Klubnik a couple times. What do you think, Jake?
Glad, Justin, you gave us the turnover stat, because Ewers has had just a couple of poor turnovers these last two games against A&M, against Georgia. I think Clemson makes it ugly enough to stay within this game. I'll have them slightly covering, but I think Texas pulls it out 21-10.
It is a lot of points for a playoff game.
That is a lot of points. But all right, JP, wrap it up for us. Who wins? Who covers? Who's the difference maker?
I got 31-13 Texas here. I understand that this is a big spread for a playoff game, but this isn't an NFL playoff game. This is college football. We see blowouts all the time. So
right.
This is why we expanded the playoff, right? So teams that like Clemson can have a shot to win a national title.
This is the exact spot
Maybe
where the
they'll clip that
there to be a
after they
blowout
win this
too.
game, and I'll get laughed at, but I'll take my chances.
You're going to get clipped on the recap video all these schools are doing. Hopefully, put us on there. Shout us out. But all right, that is Clemson and Texas. Drop your score prediction below. Who wins and why? For a chance to win a free No Rivals cap, shop norivals.com today. Use the code PTFS at checkout if you can't wait to get your free cap. But drop your score prediction. If you hit it on the nose, then we will send you a free cap. I'm going to read this comment as I'm actively going. Yeah, our boy.
We're going to answer this for him.
Okay, go give him an answer, Jake.
So if you're listening to us on Spotify, GA says on YouTube, if UT makes the Cotton Bowl, I'm obligated to buy my wife tickets. Do you think I should just buy them now before the prices skyrocket more? Well, I mean, if you buy them now, you get Clemson, Arizona State. You get to go to. You take her out somewhere nice to eat in Dallas and make a weekend.
Probably would have been cheaper just to take her to this game. To be honest with you,
I gotta imagine those prices are astronomical anyway, right?
Yeah,
they're going to be high whether there's a billion.
Take it from BYU fans. Don't buy the tickets early. You're going to be spending a bunch of money anyways. I feel like you might as well want the guarantee of the game happening, until you spend a bunch of money in the game, in the chance of the game not
be able
happening.
to resell.
Either way, we know our boy GA is a Husker fan, so you either better be in Sun Devil gear or no matter what, be in Sun Devil gear. In my opinion, that's just our de facto.
Well, let me
team here.
Let me look it up quick. I would imagine they got to be already high because Texas thinks they're winning this one, right? Like there's no doubt.
I think they're just high because it's a neutral site bowl game, and whether there's 10,000 available tickets or 10, they're going to ramp the price up.
Go ahead.
A pair of two tickets. What do you think the lowest is on? We're not going to shout these guys out because they're not sponsoring us.
At
$7 pair of two tickets for the Cotton Bowl.
600. Wait together.
I think $700. Oh, for $700 each, $1,400.
No, actually, way less. What do you think the singular ticket costs? One ticket, but they're paired as door. Yeah, $638 divided by 2. What is that?
Is that with the
338
bullshit
them.
fees?
319. No, that's with fees. This website I use has fees. 319 is the lowest ticket you can get right now.
Yeah, I'd
that's
probably just
because-
cop those right now, GA. I would definitely think they could go higher than that. I thought they would be higher than that. So I would
they
just cop
really-
those right now.
That's the Cotton Bowl, Arizona State? They're going back to or is the Cotton Bowl in the semifinal?
I'm not sure.
Because,
I
which
mean,
one
that
it
is the semifinal.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
I
That'd be a
thought-
quarterfinal.
Yeah, the quarterfinal next week versus Arizona State. I don't think that's at the Cotton Bowl, is it?
It's not at the Cotton Bowl. It's just the Goodyear Cotton Bowl.
It's the Cotton Bowl. It's in Dallas. I'm
Yes.
saying it's at a different site. I'm saying the Arizona State game is going to be
Hold
at
on, I got it in front of me. The Cotton
Well,
Bowl is
this
the
is bad
semifinal.
Yeah, so what's
So,
Arizona
Cotton Bowl
State?
and Orange Bowl are the semifinals.
So who's Arizona State? Where's Texas going if they play Arizona State?
Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Oh, so Atlanta.
So he's asking, does he think they're getting through Arizona State and Clemson? Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, don't. Hey, no,
Here-
giving it away early. Don't give it away early. No early previews, GA. You know you got to be back next week anyway. We know you will be, but we got to
Yeah,
break down Arizona
yeah.
State if this is the matchup.
wow.
For
Wow.
sure.
He knows this is a Big 12 show. So they got no chance
Yeah.
at this point. I don't care if they're favored by 14 points.
We
You
love
guys
the Big
look
12.
at those
GA loves the Big
quarterfinal
12.
bowl games at all? Those quarterfinal bowl games are going to be awesome because Arizona
Oh.
State's got the winner in the Peach Bowl. Oregon's going to be in the Rose Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl's the Boise State winner, and then Georgia's already in the Sugar
Boise
Bowl
and the
against.
Fiesta, two things.
that
nobody
other
wants
Feed
to hear.
me all the haters
Yeah,
that are
good point,
against
JP.
Arizona State and Boise. Feed me all of them. It's going to be an elite week for college football media to get their dicks kicked in. That's the plan. But all right, that is Clemson and Texas. Drop those score predictions. We appreciate you being here.